You going live too?
Oh no, I'm just taking pictures for Facebook and stuff.
I hear you should translate it to Russian, so that would have been hard.
Like, yeah, then it's gone, so.
But, you know what you can't where you
There were
can't.
a lot of people. Absolutely. I mean, that made me feel so good.
Now we're got down to on or not.
Gabrielle. So that was
phone law. Also brought to that was regarding by the judge is we're committing the federal procedural misconduct act, which is why I'm asking Senator Cornyn to vote no on Jeff Sessions in committee and no on the floor.
Okay, thank you, Alice. Okay, my next speaker is going to be Carol Reed. She will be talking to you about Betsy DeVos. To be clear, you have 5 minutes. When you hear the music play, you have 30 seconds to wrap up. Carol, please begin.
Okay.
As you can see, the person that I am against the most is Betsy DeVos. She is a horrible person. She does not like public education. See my sign? Vote no. Say no to no public education. Betsy DeVos. I was a teacher for 28 years, and I dealt with charter schools. They are terrible. That is what she wants our children in. She wants for-profit charter schools for the children who need to be in public school, who need to be around the people that they live with, not go somewhere so that a school can make money. That takes money away from public schools. Public schools need the money. They need to help the children. I worked with children, over 5,000 of them in 28 years, and I'm telling you that public schools are good. We care for children. For-profit charter schools like Ms. DeVos set up in Michigan with her vouchers have screwed Michigan schools. I know this because I have friends who live in Michigan, and they say this woman is anathema to anybody who wants a good public education for their children. She is bad. She should never be confirmed. She should not set foot in the office of the Secretary of Education. She has no right. She hates public schools. Do we really want someone like that for our education secretary? Do we really want someone who is against our children to set it for them? I don't think so. No to Betsy DeVos. Thank you. Okay. Susan Cooper. Where are you, Susan Cooper? Susan Cooper. Okay.
Almost full.
Uh-oh, he's dropping that card. Tony Wyatt is going to talk to us about Betsy DeVos.
I don't know if I can do as good a job as Carol, but Betsy DeVos has no credentials. She has no experience in a public school setting. She does not deserve the appointment as Secretary of Education. What she has done in Michigan is not school choice. What she has done in Michigan is divert taxpayer dollars into for-profit, unregulated schools that are making money from students sitting in their classroom. They do not have to prove that they are teaching these children anything. They don't have to open their records to the public. As a public school teacher, everything I do is regulated, as it should be. I have children's futures in my hands. We need to support public schools with adequate funding and not vote for Betsy DeVos.
Tell them about the
The Students with Disabilities Act requires us to educate everyone. In other nations, they don't have to educate everyone. America is special because we meet these students' needs. We will meet them if they are disabled. We will meet them if they are neglected or abused. We will meet their needs if they are non-English speakers. I am not willing to raise my test scores by throwing to meet everybody's needs. We are Americans.
She's thrilling. I love her.
You got a lot of likes during your speech. And a little cat emoji.
I'm a proactive environmentalist member of the Sierra Club Union of Concerned Scientists. I am here to ardently oppose Scott Pruitt as director of the EPA. It is preposterous to appoint someone to an agency he wants to dismantle. His appointment absolutely defies logic. It is preposterous to appoint a climate change denier to the Environmental Protection Agency. Pruitt is suing the EPA for completing an initiative to protect us all, to reduce air pollution, to keep our water safe for drinking. The New York Times reports that his predecessor sued Arkansas poultry companies for dumping chicken that reached Oklahoma. Yet Pruitt received $40,000 from executives of multiple poultry companies for his campaign. Pruitt sent letters to the EPA on behalf of big polluters and challenged plans to study the impact of fracking. Fracking poisons the water and the air with methane, and its injection bugs to cause earthquakes. His own state of Oklahoma shudders from earthquakes. Pruitt has received hundreds and thousands of dollars in campaign money because of the At his hearing, he claimed that climate change is not a hoax. But when asked about Bernie Sanders, he would not acknowledge that global warming is caused by human activity. I believe there is a very important role in the Environmental Protection Agency for testified. Then Captain Democrat of Illinois questioned whether Pruitt was just giving senators vague, pleasant answers on controversial issues to get him through his confirmation hearing. Duckworth said that there was a contract between Pruitt's comments as Oklahoma Attorney General criticizing the federal renewable standard and his promise Wednesday to carry out that mandate. She asked, "Are you that Mr. Pruitt? Criticizing the standard? Or did Pruitt today say all the right things in his confirmation hearing?" How can we believe that his words are sincere when his goal is to dismantle the EPA? When he sues the EPA to prevent it from doing its work. He said that science tells us that climate is changing, human activity in some manner impacts the change, but the ability to measure and perceive the degree and the extent of that impact and what to do about it are subject to continuing debate. That is a lie.
There's over 220 people here at this protest at Senator Cornyn's office in Dallas, Texas.
Scientists confirm that global warming is real and happening now. That global warming is caused by human activity, and that everyone needs to do his or her share in curbing global warming, or the consequences to our planet will be dire and irreversible. Scott Pruitt is a dangerous choice. He would unravel decades of progress made to preserve and nurture our Earth. We have a mandate to future generations to leave them a habitable planet. Our nation is one of the worst polluters. Therefore, we have an obligation to the community of nations to curb global warming, now and forever. Senator Cornyn, on behalf of everyone who drinks water and breathes air, I implore you with all of my being not to vote for Scott Pruitt.
Woo!
I got to think on it.
Okay. All right. I want to thank everyone for joining us. I just been told we had 220 people. Yay! I want to thank Carol Trimmer, who was our organizer, Diane Reeve, our media coordinator, James Hammett, photos, and Royce Adams as Facebook filmer. And thank you to everyone who took the time to attend. This is important. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thinking back. I mean,
That is good for you. Good for you. Good for you. How many did you have?
Speakers?
Did we run out of time or something?
I'll go for it.
Where's that Facebook?
I got it. I'm on Twitter. But the Facebook guy.
She and I both signed up to speak about price.
Okay. All right. Well, we didn't know. Search James.
Camera!
We have more speakers.
More speakers. Come back.
I got it.
I didn't know you were. I'm live.
Oh no, honey, I don't mind. Are you kidding? We're both here for the same thing.
Sandy. All right, so back again. As I said, I'm a novice MC. I did not know that our speaker, Sandy Headley, had arrived to speak about Tom Price. So, as I said, I did not know Sandy Headley had arrived to speak about Tom Price. I'm new at this. Forgive me. Sandy Headley.
I'm Sandy Hebley, and I am a registered nurse and a licensed master social worker who's very familiar with how healthcare works. I happen also to be a recipient of Medicare and Social Security at this time, and I am here to urge Senator Cornyn not to support Representative Tom Price for Secretary of Health and Human Services. Over his career, Mr. Price has a track record of voting against all measures that support regular people and promoting things that line his own pockets. As recently as August of 2015, he got a sweetheart deal from a pharmaceutical company that offered a special price on their stock just to members of Congress and their families. And he made a huge killing off of that. And in the last year, he has purchased over $90,000 in Big Pharma stock. Therefore, he has a vested interest in keeping drug prices high. Earlier this same month, in January of 2017, he purchased shares in Zimmer Biomet. And within a week after he bought those shares, he blocked the CMS regulation that might have hurt that company's profits. Then he accepted a large campaign contribution from that same company immediately after. He clearly has, his primary interest is his own pocketbook. It's not the people of the country. He's worked as part of the Tea Party movement to eliminate the Affordable Care Act without anything reasonable to put in its place that would help provide the same level of care to other people. He proposes changes to Medicaid that would do away with it as a federal mandate and would just give block grants to the states with no regulation telling them how much service they have to provide to the people that they're serving. The states could use that money for other things than providing care to the indigent. He also plans to destroy Medicare by giving all of us retired people a voucher or a stipend to go out and buy commercial insurance. There is no way that stipend would be able to purchase the level of insurance that we have under Medicare. Finally, Mr. Price has absolutely no executive experience. He's never run an agency of any kind. He has no business running an agency that is so huge. It has $1 trillion budget and thousands of employees. They also regulate our food and drugs. They regulate medical research through the National Institutes of Health. I would urge Senator Cornyn not to support this nominee because he is not qualified and is at best unethical, at worst maybe a criminal. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We actually have another speaker. Please welcome Julie Ross and your daughter as she talk about Tom Price.
This is my letter to Senator Cornyn. My name is Julie Ross, and I'm here today with my 2 young children to speak as your constituent and to implore you to reject the nomination of Representative Price as Secretary of Health and Human Services. Before our nation's health health and well-being falls under the direction and care of Mr. Price, we should examine his judgment. Recent ethics inquiries revealed that Mr. Price traded stock in a company that benefited from legislation that he was pursuing. And Price reportedly introduced legislation to lift regulations imposed on certain companies in the medical industry, corporations who coincidentally made donations to the representative's re-election campaign. Insider trading and crony capitalism are the swamp dwellers that Trump promised to fish out. Price's confirmation as Health and Human Services Secretary would be one more dangerous pick in a swamp cabinet. If Price's congressional service shows little regard for working and middle-class Americans, it's no surprise that Price's health care proposals that claim to empower patients are primarily concerned with giving power and profit to insurance companies. Price is a long-time opponent of the ACA and has made his disdain for Obamacare known. Yet the ACA's success cannot be ignored. It extended health care coverage to over 20 million Americans, including me and my family. My husband and I have a home-based business. We've been self-employed since 2003, and we depend upon an individual health insurance plan made affordable thanks to a subsidy from the ACA. Price's proposal to eliminate or reduce government subsidies would make it difficult, if not impossible, for millions of Texas families, including mine, to afford coverage. So let me be clear. The repeal of the Affordable Care Act will endanger the lives of millions of Americans. Until this law was passed, families like ours with chronic illness and disabilities were subject to capricious annual or lifetime limits on coverage. We face discrimination for being ill, for being female, for being having prior health treatment. We were all forced into high-cost state risk bills or left with no coverage at all. Price's proposal will take us back to a dangerous time when denial of health care coverage for pre-existing medical conditions can happen if lapses occur. If Price gets his way, we could witness the rollback of Medicaid expansion in over 31 states, impacting millions of elderly, low-income, middle-income folks, as well as disabled Americans. In Texas alone, 4.7 million Texans are covered by Medicaid, or the Children's Health Insurance Program, including 3.5 million children and over 374,000 seniors and people with disabilities. Without the ACA, my younger daughter here, Nico, who was born premature with Down syndrome and heart disease, would have been sent home to die after reaching our arbitrary lifetime limit for health care costs in her first few weeks of life in the neonatal intensive care unit. Now that she's at home and thriving, we depend upon ACA protections to manage her complex health needs. If Price heads the HHS, my daughter and millions of other Americans will lose their coverage through expanded Medicaid and subsidized ACA plans when they're repealed, and people will die. I've heard it said that we can still go to the ER, even without health insurance, but for my 4-year-old daughter, without preventative, continuous health care management for her heart disease and complex medical conditions, waiting until she shows sign of cardiac arrest would be too late. Folks with chronic illness and disabilities aren't the only ones with so much at stake. Price seeks to privatize Medicare by turning it into a voucher program, which would burden seniors with higher cost sharing, an effort that contradicts promises made by Trump to not cut Medicare and Social Security. We all have our own struggles. I'm doing my best as a wife and mother and a small business owner. I've never expected to be standing here in front of you, begging Senator Cornyn to save my daughter's life. But here I am, we're in constant fear of losing protections that enable people like my daughter to live. So please, Senator Cornyn, listen to us. Stand up for the working class, for women, for small business, for our children, and for people with disabilities. Reject Trump's nomination of Price for Health and Human Services Secretary. It is unemployment appointments that endanger our lives and our civil liberties. Thank you.
Okay, this really is
not really.
Yeah,
No, where is it located?
Exactly. I mean, 40% of the country votes.
I made the point that I said the energy that's in that demonstration out there, I want to tell you, there's more about where that came from. Right. We don't see stuff. This is just getting people started. Yeah. It's just barely whetting their appetite.
Exactly.
And we're not.
How'd you guys do this?
No problem.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's only doing that with defense where it's critical. I said, these people are fired.
Yeah.
He didn't do that.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy